Turn your headphones up. It's going down. That chocolate boy about to come out. It's the Tea and Henny Show, the only online platform providing the knowledge of spilled tea with the ratchetness of a shot of Henny. Ladies, get that lip gloss popping, and fellas, put some lotion on your beards. You're about to be live with the best to ever do. Hello. What's up, family? It's your man Disco Jackson back in the building once again on this what's today? Saturday. Luxurious Saturday evening. Hey man, my days are gone. I got the homies with me as always. Today, we finally got back the most beautiful, the sexiest, the luscious lips with the persistent lip stick joints on. The always Miss Lex. What's up, love?
Much better. I like the intro. Much better.
Much better.
Hey
I did
guys.
that one. How
Yeah,
you doing, love?
you get a
You
brownie
good?
point for that. Yeah, I'm good. How are
Well,
you?
thank you. I'm well. I'm good to have you back. Glad to have you back as always. Get a different perspective this time around. You know what I
Uh
mean?
oh.
And as always, we got my man down below, 50, my man 50 grand. Always kicking that knowledge that he's very well versed in the dating scene, even though he's married. But he know what he's talking about. My main man, Coach Derek.
Oh,
Right, we back.
What's up, homie?
I'm good, man. This whole quarantine thing. I
Hey
mm,
man,
mean,
this
Georgia's off the chain, but we can talk about that
mm.
another day.
Georgia, what they doing down there?
They opened up the nail salons and
What,
the
Friday?
barber.
All the way? It's all the way open?
They doing it like meter, but people are like in line, like
Wow.
it's almost kind of like they testing it out to make sure to see what's gonna happen to the brown folks.
I saw a quote. I
To
saw a
the brown
quote
folk.
that says, "Call when they open up the golf course and all the country clubs, then they gonna go out."
Hey man, look, I ain't messing around. They gonna open this joint, everything up tomorrow. I'm not going out.
Now,
I'm
hell
gonna
no.
get no. I'm not
Mm-mm.
going out. But the way they made it sound previous, no. Why would you go out right now? They said,
Mm-mm.
oh, okay, it's okay. You can go out. Where we are in the state of Maryland, they said today we recorded our highest numbers for death related to the coronavirus. I just read that a little while ago. And you
Yep.
want me to go outside in 2 weeks? Nah, bruh. I'm good, man. I'm good sitting right here behind the screen talking to y'all, man.
Yep.
I ain't doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, today, on our last show, we had a topic that stirred up a lot of
Mm.
feelings and emotions. Got kind of heated a little bit, but hey, that's okay. That's what we here for, man. Tea and Henny, man. It was a lot more Henny last time than it was tea. But let's see if we can even it out this time. Our topic, of course, child support. The system needs an overhaul. This is part two. We're gonna try to be nice today, play nice, and look. They asked, God damn, they
You
asking for
wasn't
the link
playing nice
already.
last time.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
yes, Alex, I was playing nice. They was they was picking on me.
Uh
You know
oh.
what I mean? They was picking
Uh
on me.
oh.
The good old Brandon was there though to save the day as always with him and his stats. Him and his stats. I don't know. He might have rubbed some people the wrong way last time, but
Uh oh. Uh
Lonnie already
oh.
ready for the link.
look, Lonnie
Uh
ready for the
oh.
look. Where's the link?
Where's the
Yeah, damn
link? I'm
we
here.
just we
We
just put
see
start.
you. We see you.
Yes, Brooks, here we go again because this is a topic that I stand by.
Whew.
Y'all know my feelings on child support. I don't like it. It's stupid. The way it's ran is dumb. There's people abusing it and they don't get punished for it. But the people that's trying to do right by it get punished for it. It's dumb. It makes me sick to my stomach to see people go through that. But it is what it is. But Lex, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start off with you since you wasn't here last time. We would like to
Mm-hmm.
we would like to hear your input on how do you feel about the child support system?
How do I feel about the child support system? Um, well, I'm a single parent, never received child support. I don't think a judge should tell a man to take care of their child. For the guys that take care of their children without being forced, I don't think they should be put on child support. Or I'm not going to even say guys, parents. For the parents that just don't care, don't provide any support emotionally, physically, financially. I think they should be put on it. I also think that there should be a system with all states for the ones that are getting child support. They need to prove it what they're spending the money on. I mean, what are you what you spending the money on? If your rent, if you're saying that the kid need a place to stay, how often do you have this child? Is it 50-50 custody or the majority that parent? I need to know, it needs to be some type of law or some type of system to show where the money is going. I mean, all the way down to the brown penny. So, yeah. Oh, y'all agree with me today? Oh
Hell
my
yeah, because
God.
I
Oh
got
my
damn near
goodness.
crucified last week for that saying that. For saying exactly what you just said. I almost got crucified for that. They kept
Mm.
beating me up and down. Why does it matter? Why does it matter where the people where the money go? As long as your child's being taken care of. Why you care with the and I'm gonna use this term because what females are the majority of recipients of child support. Why
Hmm.
do you care what the female is doing with the money? Because I'm not paying for her lifestyle, man. I'm not paying for her to live the way she wanna live. No, that's
I
crazy.
know I've seen a female. I want to say she was an acquaintance. She wasn't a friend of mine, but I know her in passing. She was always fly. I mean, we could be going out for the weekend, and she's like, "Wait, I don't get my child support check that week," and I'm looking like,
What?
I'm look,
See?
ladies, y'all gonna be mad at me tonight, but I'm looking like, wait a minute. I don't even receive child support. My baby daddy won't even to send $5, let alone a check, paying a check to the system. But I'm like, your kids are all like, what do you use this money for? Your kids are always raggedy. Their clothes are always shabby. Just look a hot mess. The kids didn't have a bed. I'm like, okay, homegirl,
And that's
clearly.
and
But it doesn't matter as long as the money is supposed to go towards the kids. The mama can do whatever she want to do because
Nah,
that's
that
her.
baby
That
ain't that
she can
baby
do
ain't
what
have
she
a
want to
bed.
do.
That baby didn't have a bed.
It don't
that's
Little
matter.
crazy,
flower.
Mama can
man.
do what she wants.
No, that man, that's terrible. And that's why I brought up the point. Child support should be it should be placed on like a debit card type joint. Should be placed on some type of debit card
Isn't it
where
on a debit card?
child support.
Yeah, it's not on a debit card.
Nah, hell nah, not in this state at least.
Yo,
Not
my
child.
brother is still paying child support, and his kids are 27, 28.
Woo woo. Wait. Whoa. Hold on.
Yep, he's
Oh,
still paying the
what?
system.
How is
So
that even
apparently,
possible?
because if you're behind, if you're in the rears, you still have to pay. And get this, the kids, so now that the kids are older and they're talking to their dad and having conversations with their mom like ran off with the money. Their mom did all types of stuff and didn't take care of the children. So she would always say, "Your dad didn't send any money this week, so this is why we're eating what we're eating." And like now that the kids are older and they're speaking to my brother, they're like, "Man, mom brainwashed us because we thinking you ain't paid nothing." But he's still paying for child support. When you're in the rears, you still have to pay. You don't get any
Wow.
you don't get any refunds from your taxes. They'll garnish your wages. They'll suspend your driver's license. Yeah.
So my man Rodney says, should the parents that's taking care of a child and found out it's not theirs get reimbursement? Bro, that's a whole nother show
Yes,
I want to do.
yes,
Hell yeah,
yes.
give it all back.
I have a
All of it.
cousin that this happened to. I think yes, yes.
So, all right. Yasmin says, this is silly. You advocate to monitor women, but what about men? I need you to expand on that a little bit more
Yeah,
because
because we
if
talking about
just
both parents, Yasmin.
yeah,
But
so it's
whoever is on child
yeah,
support
yeah,
needs
it's all the way
to.
around.
Yeah, yeah.
But if we're talking about what I think you're talking about, men are being monitored with it. That's how their licenses get suspended. That's how they get locked up behind the nonsense. Can't get jobs behind it. That's
Brandon, where's Brandon with the statistics? I want to know how many women are on child
oh,
support.
I got the stats pulled up, baby. I was ready
How?
for the
Oh,
night.
oh.
I was
How many?
ready for the
How
night.
many women are on child support? And I want to know how many African American men are on child support.
Oh, see, I ain't got all that. I'm gonna
Uh,
let. Where the hell is Brandon at?
Brandon,
Oh, you know what? My bad. Let me get Brandon in here. Where you at, B? I'm gonna get him in here in 2 seconds. Hey B, send me a message so I can send you the link. Send me a message through Facebook so I can send you the link. I don't know what happened to it. Lonnie says, when you have relatives come over to visit, do your household expenses go up? Then why does the parents that receives the child support have to prove what they do with the money? I don't understand your correlation.
Because Lonnie, these parents are using money like my significant other. He pays a very hefty fine in child support, but a kid will come and say, "I need you to pay for a basketball camp." Wait, what? What? Why are we paying for basketball camp? I'm sorry.
Mm.
Shouldn't that come out of the monthly?
Here you go.
No.
Can't
Oh,
can't get a passport if you owe child support either. That's
nope.
crazy, man.
And if you are a barber or a stylist or etc., your that license could get suspended as well.
Here we go. Denise. Then if you break it down and it doesn't pay for everything, should the father pay more? Hell no. The mother shouldn't doesn't it's a 50-50 thing, right? She should be putting up the other half.
What
Come
does
on,
she
man.
mean by paying more? Is she
I'm
meaning
I'm
she
assuming I'm assuming that if whatever if you knock down all write down this down all the expenses that the
expenses?
mother
Mm-hmm.
for the child, let's say whatever it is, school like books and all that, and it comes up
Mm-hmm.
to not be enough, should the father pay more? No, because the mother could take up the other half. Here's my
Well,
thing, man, and I already know what. Go ahead, Dirk.
there's also a area where, you know, if like, let's say the father is supposed to pay a certain amount, and let's say the other 50%, the mom pays the same amount, and then there's like other stuff that come up that are outside of that, then sure, that's the way I feel. Like, you got to do that anyway. If you're the parent, you got to make sure your kids are taken care of. But you know, I'm just kind of sitting here. I'm waiting for Lonnie to come in. This gonna be fun tonight.
Lonnie says he's ready. Jasmine says no. There are men who pay and consider that to be the end. Okay, you can't force that man to be a man. I mean, he's paid. What should he be monitored beyond that? You can't make a man be a man. And as I said last time, a lot of these guys don't want to. They feel that's their escape because they don't want to deal with the mother. They want nothing else to do with her.
I feel that as women, as adults, should I say, as adults, the father and the mother needs to have a conversation, you know, panning out who's responsible for what before they bring the courts involved. Now, if it just don't work out, if you guys cannot come to an agreement, cannot have a mediator, then that's when child support should be asked. I just feel like conversations should be had before we start going in front of these judges. Because I'm gonna tell you something, these judges, majority are white, they're looking at us, laughing at us, just like here's another statistic, here's another deadbeat. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, all the way from Bitterville, we got Bitter Brandon. Got Bitter Brandon. Bitter, what's
Man,
up,
what's
Brandon?
good, baby? How you doing?
Welcome to the
Man, I'm
show. How
doing
you doing?
good. I'm doing good. Yeah,
Hey, you gotta speak.
I
You
saw
can't
y'all
come in and
put
don't
the.
speak to Lex, man.
Oh, how you doing, Lex? Welcome back.
Hey, Brandon, thank you.
Yeah, the reason why I came, I saw your bat signal, and I heard some that you needed statistics.
Yes, yes, my brother. Yes.
All
So go
right.
ahead.
So they what you were asking about the amount of people. So there is basically three general categories.
Okay,
There's
I'm taking
uh,
notes.
all right. So it's women that have primary custody, men that have primary custody, and then some semblance of joint. Not all joint is the same, right?
Mhm.
So basically, what you have is women that have 50% or more custody is 72% of women.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that was that's pretty high.
Yes, extremely high,
So and
in my opinion.
the amount of men that have primary custody is 10%.
God dang. 10%.
So 10% have like excuse me, I'm sorry, not primary. Well, primary sole, like who have like the final decision making, like if for medical and those medical, school, and religion. Those are three main categories.
So you're saying 28% of men do not have custody of their children?
In at all in some capacity. No, that's not what I'm saying. So what I was breaking down was the amount of individuals that had primary custody. Now I don't know how many what the percentages of women that have primary custody. But what I'm
Okay.
saying is the percentage of women that have at least 50% custody
Is the
is 72%.
72%. Okay,
Yes,
can
ma'am.
we do, what about in what about in ethnicities?
Now I'll be honest with you. I don't have that specific breakdown, but I would imagine because of the fact that children under 18, that most of those households are led by 70% is led by black women.
Mhm.
Um, out of black kids that are under the age of 18, right? 70% are run by households that are like woman only. So I would imagine that it would be drastically higher than other races just based off of that statistic itself.
And you got to pay child support if the kid goes to college as well.
In some states, yes.
Why is that though?
So I mean,
They're still
I guess the
independent.
rationale is, yeah, I guess the
They're still
rationale is
independent.
they still need support. So yes, the other thing is that you don't pay it to the child, you still pay it to the mom. So if your child's going to Georgetown University, because DC is like that, right? If they're going to Georgetown University, and they're 20, you still give the check to the mom.
To the mom. So the
So,
child is old
so
enough now to receive that money and do what they need to do with it. You're still giving it to the mom.
well, because they're still independent.
Yeah, and
So,
then but yeah, I mean, it'll be court ordered. So I'm yeah.
Brandon, you got to turn one of your things off because you're getting
so,
feedback.
so for anyone that is getting child support on here, do or have to pay child support, do you pay the court and the court pays the parent, or if you don't pay, the parent don't get anything, or do the court pay on their behalf?
That's for Brandon.
Anybody?
Say it's
So in an instance where in an instance where it was court ordered, um, okay.
Brandon.
So when you have court ordered and it's paid,
What's going on with your mic over there, man? Oh, he keep cutting. Brandon keeps muting himself for some reason. Brandon, you got to get that together. All right, look,
Lonnie,
y'all.
Lonnie trying to get on. Lonnie trying to
I
get on.
right. I just posted the link. The link is up, y'all. We can take two people real quick. The link is actually, let me post it over here for the guys on YouTube. I'm sorry, I left y'all out.
So Johnny says, yes, you pay the court and the court pays. But what if you don't pay the court?
Yeah. The people on YouTube, I just posted the link there as well.
you have the option of paying it directly to the mom.
You have the option. But what if, okay. But I want to know, when do the courts step in to pay? Because, like, how do you get back child support? Like, back child support. How do they continue to get these payments even though the kid is like 30 and you still pay it? Or do you pay the courts?
So a whole lot of that stuff going on in the
I
common
mean,
The
sense of the
court
it's
courts.
pays
done.
when the father doesn't pay to a certain age and the parent still owes the money to the court. Okay.
Oh, let's see. All right, y'all. We got Lonnie in the building. He
Welcome back.
stepped up
Welcome
last
back,
week. We
sir.
got him up in here this week. What's up, homie?
Man, y'all tripping.
Oh, how we tripping? No, you coming out the gate firing shots fired.
Okay,
Jesus Christ!
all right. Y'all
Go
talking about
ahead.
how bad the system is. What system can you have if you don't have a system? None, right? You talking about y'all don't want the judges telling the dad what to do. Well, who's going to enforce the laws?
We didn't say. I never said I didn't want to not necessarily tell him what the dad what to do, but that's laws have to be enforced. Yes, absolutely. But I'm totally. What I'm saying is, put it. If you're gonna make the man pay, make the woman be responsible.
And how you make
That's
them
what
be
I'm saying.
responsible?
Put it on a card, and it has to be delegated where the money can be spent.
Okay, so
It
like I
can't be
said,
spent for her hair. It can't be spent for her shoes. It can't be spent for her upkeep.
Okay, look. Say for instance, you ready to come to my house. My
Okay.
electric bill gonna go up. My water bill gonna go up. My grocery bill gonna go up, and that
Why
may
is
be
that?
just. So
How?
you gonna come to my house and not eat?
I pay for my own. I bring food.
Now, come on, man. We talking. Come on, for real. I'm not gonna expect you to come here and pay to eat, to pay to use my bathroom, to pay to use my water, to pay to use my electricity. So therefore, by nature, my expenses are going to go up.
Okay, now by nature.
How can I measure that?
But listen, so you invited me over there, right? It was your choice to have me there, correct?
What I'm saying is, if
It was
any
your choice to have me
any
there, just the same way it's their choice to have that child and bring that child into the home.
right together,
Okay, you can say together, but always
right.
ain't the man. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I'm saying it takes two to make the baby.
You're
One didn't
absolutely
do it by
right.
himself, right?
Right.
So they brought the kid in together. Now, like I
Okay.
just said, how can I measure? How can I measure how much it's going to cost when you come here to visit for a day, a week, or a month? How can I measure that?
I guess you can.
Then how can I tell the court that I'm paying for this?
I think it should be some type of when it comes to, I'm saying, for you to state how much you are reporting what you're doing with the money. For
Mm-hmm.
instance, I'm not talking rent. Okay, rent can be covered with of course, the shelter, and it also can include a certain percentage of gas, a certain percentage of water, etc. And they can do it. I'm in property management; they can do it. It's a formula that we can do to determine how much each person use. So that should just be one little category. All right, rent.
Mm-hmm.
$1,500. All right, they need to pay 1/3 of this. 1/3 of this needs to go because of the child needs a place to stay. Groceries. I mean, it should just be okay. An average person, one person is what? $20 a day. You have this child 15 days out the 30 days in the month. I mean, it can be done. It
Yeah,
can be done.
you just
But
broke down rent and you just broke down groceries, right?
rent, groceries, whoever
Uh-huh.
is carrying the child for medical, that should be deducted because I'm sure one party is carrying it and the other one is not. Whoever has the best insurance. And then it also factors who has the child the most. If it's 50-50, it should be just split in half. It should not be any child support if it's 50-50. But if it's 70-30, 60-40, you know, it's not gonna it doesn't take a rocket science. It really don't, to break these numbers down. I think it should, some type of estimate or something should be reported on what these parents are spending this money on, because these women are driving these nice cars. These kids don't even want a kid need a tutor, but they can't get a tutor because mama paying $500 with the child support money to drive this nice Range Rover or etc. Like, it should be reported.
Okay, so we
Unfortunately, it
talking about
needs to
different
be.
issues. We're talking about an issue that the mom is doing whatever she wants with the money, and the other issue is whether the dad or the non-custodial parent is paying child support. That's two different issues. The
Wait,
first issue is talking
I'm
about,
confused. What we talking about?
Man, we talking about all that.
all
We
right,
talking about all that.
but we
We
I
talk
talking about
okay.
all
mean,
that.
we
Now
talking about
child,
reporting.
right? We talking about reporting. So
Okay.
you just broke down rent and you just broke down food, and right now that's over $500 right there for one person. Let's say $1,000 a month. What about all the other financial costs that are occurred by that child? The other thing is, if I pay for my groceries every 2 weeks and I'm paying, let's say $400 every 2 weeks, maybe some of the money that I'm getting for the groceries was maybe $40 for the kid. For the whole month, it's going to be $300, but I spent it all in the first of the month. So now the rest of the money that I have is my child support that's coming in. I can use that for whatever I want.
But Lonnie, they can have it. They don't have to just like they don't have to have they can have categories. Household. What includes this household? Rent, groceries, electric, water, etc. Okay, that's household. All right, education. What does this child need in education that they're spending, or etc. And then it can have household. That's where the groceries and everything fall under. Education, tutor, or if they're in a private school, and then medical. I mean, it's
I,
really not that
I,
hard.
it's not. You're right. It's not that hard, but I guarantee you, if it's broken down for the women to have to report where the money's going, the men are not paying hardly enough. And
Are you
the
crazy?
amount.
Are you crazy, Snooki? Hey,
How much?
you know,
How much do you think it costs to raise a kid? Let's say a 5-year-old kid. How much do you think it costs a month to raise that kid? To provide for that kid?
There is no amount of money can determine how much to take care of a child.
Then why does a woman have to report how much and what they're doing with it?
Statistically, I'm sure. Brandon, can you find out how much the average
No
for a
statistics.
child?
hey, while Brandon is doing that, we're gonna get another point of view. What's up, Melissa?
Thank you. Can you hear me? My mic working?
You're good.
Yes, you're loud. Go ahead.
I'm loud.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
All right. I agree with Lonnie 100%, and I'm gonna tell you why it should not go.
You do what? You lost
Yep.
already.
Nope, I agree with him 110%. Do not buzz me. I'll tell you why. Because you heard what he said. If I spend all of my money taking care of my child because the bills are due on the first of the month, but you're paying me every week, do not tell me how to rob Peter to pay Paul.
That's right.
If you can see that my child is taken care of. Now, if you can see that my child is not taken care of for some reason, take me to court. Take me back. Take me back to court. Make me prove it. These people, they say that the system is not working in their favor, but they don't use the system to their benefit either. You can do a show called summons at any time, free.
But it's built against the man, though. Come on now, stop it. It's built against the man. How often do men win?
How is it built against the man when the bills are due at the beginning of the month, but we don't get the money for the child until you basically can give it to us? And don't let them garnish it, because that's going to add at least 7 to 10 days to it.
All right, but my point of view here right now is on this specific topic is the money ain't being used what it's supposed to be used for. Put that shit on the card.
That's not all the time. And where that comes from, my advice on that one, and I'm guilty of it too, know who you're having a child with. Because if you think she's a deadbeat, she probably thinks you are too. That's why you're on child support, this, that, and the third, or whatever else. So people need to know who they're having children with first. Amen. And then you wouldn't have to worry. Okay, I you wouldn't have to worry where that money's going.
It's not happening.
Right, it's not happening.
What about the people
which leads us to people not paying money or spending money like it should be, which is why we're here.
Who's to say how it should be spent?
Exactly, that's what we say.
It should be different for the kid, though, right? Isn't that like
the custodial parent? The custodial parent.
If you're telling one party that they have to pay, the other party should be ordered to spend it a certain way. If it's for the child, it should be documented it's for the child.
No, because I'm going to give you
If I'm getting child support, I don't want nobody telling me when, why, or how to spend that money.
Thank you.
Why do you want it? Why not? Because you know you're going to spend it other ways. You're not going to spend it what it's meant for.
Don't send little JoJo to me saying that he needs to pay $500 for a basketball camp. Don't do it, because I'm not paying.
9 times out of 10, they're not going to get that kind of stuff anyway. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get extracurriculars thrown in there.
Yeah.
Because those are once in a lifetime things or once a year things or whatever. If the custodial parent chooses to do that 9 times out of 10, the court is not going to make the absent parent pay for that. That's not going to happen.
We're paying for it. We're paying for it.
And that's when you got to work out with the non-custodial parent to get a little bit of extra to help out.
So what if the two can't get along? What if the custodial parent and the non-custodial parent, they can't get along, they can't tolerate each other, they hate each other. All the man or what the other half wants to do is just pay the money and be done with it. That's it. Or if the kids need to be picked up, come get the kids. So that type of thing. They can't work nothing out.
And that's why they have court to enforce child support. Because the
custodial parent pays for the extras.
I know a woman that said out of her mouth, I'm gonna always have you in court so you can't live. I'm gonna make your life miserable. So I'm gonna always have you in court.
They exist. Yes. My ex-husband's baby's mom had him and us in court every 91 days for 10 years.
I would say this.
Been there.
I would say this. In the military, I got a pay raise every December. I went to court. I didn't have to go to court because child support services, my money was automatically deducted. But it came out every 2 years. She asked for more money. You know what I did? I got accustomed to knowing that every 2 years, my child support is going to go up, and I just had to change or alter the way I live.
So every 2 years, you knew money was coming out.
Exactly.
Every 2 to 3 years, you can file for a review.
So why would she want more money? Is it because the child may need more?
Well, I'm
Is
gonna
that
get
the case?
I'm gonna get that
Because it costs
scenario
more.
again. If my way of life is getting better and better and better, shouldn't
Why do
my
you have
kid?
to pay more?
What
Why
I'm
do you
saying,
have to pay more?
shouldn't my kid?
If you have custody, absolutely.
Okay, so that's why I got to pay more child support.
Did you hear what I said? If you have custody, absolutely. If you
No,
have
we're
custody, it's
talking
going to be automatic.
Okay,
If
we're
you
talking
have
about child
custody, it's going
support.
to be automatic.
We're
Huh?
talking about child support. We're talking about paying child support, right?
Right. We talking about child support.
If the way I live, if it's getting better and better, then my
Okay.
children's life should get better and better.
Okay.
So if I'm making more money, then she should get more child support.
But you could have done that on your own willingly out of pocket with gifts or things of that nature. She didn't really have to take you to court for that.
Yeah, why are you on child support? Why y'all couldn't have a conversation?
I'd rather be on child support because that's the law saying this is how much you owe, and there is no if, ands, or but whether I paid or didn't pay it. It's easier. It's a benefit for me because I'm paying the child support. You know, can't nobody come after me and say, hey, you got the rears or you owe back child support. No. And
child support be enforced for
Lakira,
men that does
hold
not
on, Lex. Lakira, go ahead, click the link, Lakira.
People looking at it as being enforced. It's also taking care of the man, okay? Because this is what happened. If I paid her directly, she can go to court and say, I never paid her a dime.
Lie. Yep. They do it.
And I'm going to tell you, that happened to me. My ex-wife said, well, I don't have anything showing that you paid. And when I went to court, thank God I was in the military, I was able to put up all my financial documents where she had an allotment that went directly to her.
Okay, so what's wrong with that?
What you're saying, you're saying is why do I need to be on child support? I'm saying it helped me out. By having the state or the government take my money and pay her directly, it helped me out in the long term.
But what I'm saying is why you and that parent couldn't have a conversation on taking care of the child. Why go to court? Why child support? I initially said, and we talked about this another show before, why do the judge have to make a parent take care of their child?
Okay, because let me explain. If that man gets married to another woman and that woman's like, hey, I think you're paying a little bit too much in child support, then you can take her to court and lower it. And I'm gonna tell you that happens all the time.
Why you guys can't have a conversation in taking care of this child?
You're making it seem like everybody that has a kid always get along. We don't. They all don't always get along.
So that's what I was waiting for. We don't get along, so I had to go on child support. So
but it's not a negative thing. It's not a negative thing to be paying the state your child support.
It's not a negative thing. But tonight's topic is this money is not going to the child the majority of the time. This is how we got to part 2.
But the money in the house is going to the child. And that's where y'all are getting it completely twisted by saying that you want records of where that money is spent. The money in the house is going to the child, be it the child support that comes in once a week or the parent. Yeah. Be it the money that comes in once a week, once every 2 weeks, or be it the check that I have. So if my child is taken care of, which you do have 25% of women who do not do it, maybe 40, I'll give you 40, that don't do it, then how do you delegate who should and should not have to provide records? I should not have to provide records because I went and got my nails done. I make enough money to go get my nails done because I already paid for everything that my child needs. And then when her check comes, then it's sitting there for whatever she asked for next.
But I guarantee you, when somebody if somebody get the Disney X or the Disney Channel Plus, you're not asking them where the money at.
That's why I said it should be in categories.
But you can't. How do you break it down to who can and who can't? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you say? I mean, that's like, in all honesty, like that's something like for CPS involvement.
They can even enforce it. They can even enforce it when the parent take them back to court and ask for more money, and the judge can say, "Well, why do you need more money? This is why I need more money
because my cost of living has gotten better. The child's cost of living gotten better, and my ex-husband's making more money. That's why I need child support." And that's what happened to athletes. That's what happened to entertainers. That's what happened to actors.
No, that's what happens to everybody on a yearly basis. You get basically a 3 to 5% raise on cost of living. So you can't even just say.
Sarah, you got to mute your whatever you're watching this on. You got to mute that because it's gonna feed back. It's gonna double back.
Sir, what?
That's what happens to everybody on a year.
Sir, you gotta
Cost of living.
You gotta mute that. Mute that and come back.
Whatever you're watching, Sarah.
Turn off Facebook and just stay on their screen.
Yeah, turn off Facebook and just watch us. Just talk. Whatever. If you're talking through your phone, just talk to us through your phone. You can still hear everything. You can see everything, and the comments, all that. But it's feedback. It's giving feedback. There
Whatever
you go.
you're watching, Sarah.
Oh no, there we go. All right, there we go. Brandon is back.
Hey, Brandon. Brandon, I'm actually excited to hear you on today.
You there, Brandon? Nah, what's going on, everybody in their mics today? Y'all been on here before? Brandon.
Hey, can I ask a question though?
Go ahead.
What is so wrong with being on child support paying it to the state?
There's no.
It's a stigma.
The stigma for who? The parent, the male, or the woman?
Society. It's just society's made it a stigma, basically saying that if you're a parent that's on child support, that you're not supporting your child, or you're being made to do it by the state because you weren't willing to do it.
I honestly think when you're on child support, it keeps everything honest.
It doesn't. It does not.
How?
Y'all do realize
what to do with the money. What's she doing with the money? No,
Yeah.
I'm paying what I'm supposed to pay. I don't care what you're doing. Long as the kids are taken care of correctly, there's no problem. And then if they're not taken care of correctly and she's doing everything under the sun with the money, then I take her to court.
That's what we're talking about.
And take her to court and do what? Take her to court and do what?
Take her to court and explain why you feel that she's not doing the correct things with the money. My kid don't have clothes.
How you gonna prove
don't
that?
have this.
Exactly.
You don't have any accountability, right? So how would you
keep records?
How would you prove it to the court?
Keep records.
Keep records of every time you see your child. If you see your child and you see them on January and then you see them again. Let me tell you. Keep records on everything.
You know why those records ain't gonna mean anything? Because that's your word against theirs. You can sit down and write. You're gonna be bitter and write something down saying, "Okay, I had my child May 23rd and her hair was dirty. May 20. The next week I picked her up. Her clothes were dirty. That mother can come right back and say, "Oh no, my child was clean. My child was fine when she got there." It can be a back and forth type thing. Come on, man. It'd be so much easier if it was on a card, and you could swipe that joint, and you could pull up records of the accounts of what the money was spent on.
Okay, let me give you an example. If I'm by myself, I only have to have a 1-bedroom, right?
Okay.
So the difference in cost for me to have a 1-bedroom and for me to have a 2-bedroom, so that she can have her own room, right? What about that? I can't pay my child support card with that.
You can't pay your child support rent. You can't pay rent with your child support.
You can't pay rent with that. She's leaving on lights all over the house and everything else.
Well, I
can't pay with that.
Child support is not to pay 100% of your
I didn't say 100. I didn't say 100. I didn't say 100. The difference between what it would cost me with and without a child.
Difference is what it would cost you. Really?
I'm just asking.
No, that makes no sense.
Okay.
She's 16. She wants new Jordans. Can I buy those?
That's a want, not
that's
a need.
A want. That's not a right.
That's a want, not a need. Come on,
but
man.
I provide. To be honest with you, I provide her needs. She's in my house 99.9% of the time. So I provide all her needs. So her child support is for her.
She needs shoes.
Wants.
She don't need J's. She needs
I'm
shoes.
just saying.
You can go to Stride, right? Foot Locker. I mean, pay less. Grab a $20 knockoff joint.
So who says?
Yes.
Who says
you're happy with them just having the bare minimum? You will be happy paying child support with your kid having the bare minimum.
Who's to say Jordans are above? Who's to say this high price stuff is above means or making them like no?
That's not above means. That's the means we live in. That's why I'm saying all her needs are taken care of. I provide her for her needs. So when her child support comes, that's her wants. But if it was on a card, how could she get what she wanted?
You go get it for her. What do you mean?
So you're telling me I got to be limited to Stride, right, and everything else?
Look, man.
But I'm paying half. I'm not paying.
You put the other half up.
I'm glad you said the Jordans because that's a good analogy.
Days are $200. Okay. Am I supposed to buy $200 Jordans, or are we gonna meet somewhere? I pay $60.
You go to Walmart and buy the $9 shoes because all they need is shoes.
Exactly.
No, hell no. Come on now.
Okay, then then I give up 100, she give up 100. I give up 100, she give up 100. Simple as that.
Exactly.
We're talking about child
Exactly.
support. No, we're talking about not extra money. We're talking about what we're doing with the child support.
I give up
Not-
100, she give up 100.
No, not you give me some extra $100. It's the money that I'm getting
Am I
already.
supposed to pay 100% in everything that this
Nope.
child needs?
No, you're not. But I guarantee you that the custodial parent is paying 100% with the
Thank
money
you.
that is being provided by the non-custodial parent.
Okay, well, if you want to
So
take
if
the
the
whole,
kids say, let's go to McDonald's, well, no, you can only have a cheeseburger versus, oh, you can get 2 Big Macs and some fries. That's
No,
the
we can
difference.
go to the grocery store and we can cook. That's what
Okay,
you
we can
you know
cook.
what? Time out. Time
We
out.
can cook.
Time
Let's
out.
get these
Time out.
hot dogs
Time out.
instead of getting these steaks.
Time out. Time out. Time out. And this may be another conversation or another show. I don't even know where to begin.
go ahead.
These parents, parents, y'all kids are working y'all. Y'all ain't Jordans, McDonald's, going out to eat, eating Red Lobster, honey. No.
I'm glad you said that. Because now we're talking about a way of life, a way of living.
No.
If I'm able to provide for my kids to take them to Red Lobster, to take them to wherever the hell they want to go, Disney World, that means my way of life has gotten a lot better. Now, if I'm paying $300, $400 in child support, but now I'm making a whole lot more money, you just made my point right there. Oh, my kids can't have Jordan.
So,
Man,
But
I ain't going for
real
that.
quick. So I think we're kind of like splitting hairs here, right? Because there's one scenario where the custodial parent is basically doing 99% of everything and the other parent isn't. And then there's a scenario where someone's paying child support, but they're also supporting, outside of the child support as well. So then there becomes a discussion of, if I'm paying this money for child support, and yeah, we can talk about the semantics of, I spent my money on Monday and then the child support came and I'm swapping it out. But then there's a gray area where that child support money could be spent on randomness for the parent, and 0%, of whatever that discretionary money that you're taking off the child support to go buy you a Gucci bag. You can't say that was for the kid. The extra money, if I'm in the scenario of the parent who is helping, you say we need some Jordans. Okay, cool. Here's half of it. We cool. But if that parent, if I'm the parent that's not doing anything, then we can have that conversation about, yeah, I'm spending extra money on McDonald's and Jordans. So we can't mix them all together.
Can I ask a question?
Hang on, Snooki, hang on. Let's let Sarah get a chance. What's up, Sarah? You've been sitting patiently.
Hi.
What you got to say today? Go ahead.
So I think that there's a misconception that child support is like so much money, because like the amount of child support that you can get will not be what you make at work or what you have to pay to have a child. And I'm talking about for parents that, like, it's not like a 50-50 situation. You're like having the child, let's say 70% of the time. Those children are living with you the majority of the time. So they have to provide. You have to provide for the kids. So if they're in one place most of the time, it's going to cost more. So that money that he might send, it's not covering, I'm not even going to say half of what it costs to take care of the kids. Mm-hmm. So, and I just think that's like a misconception. And it's just a portion. And I know it depends on like what state you live in, how they calculate it. So, I mean, it would be nice if people could trust each other and, know that both parents are going to be taking care of the child, or, if dad ends up with someone else, he's not going to suddenly stop paying or trying to pay less because now this other woman that he's with decides she wants a child with him. And now that money's taking out of her household. Like, there's so many different, I guess you could say, scenarios that are actually like real life that come into play. So I just think, you're like, someone could cry like, oh, I pay $500 a month, but I guarantee you, like, there's a lot more. Also, what child support can be used for is actually pretty broad. And I don't know what it is for other states, but like, you can use it for transportation. So that means the car that you drive. you could use it for repairs for that car. So it's very broad, and all of that is actually important, especially if you're a parent that commutes their child back and forth to school or whatever else that they do. It adds up. And I think unless you have a child full time, like, you're not really going to understand. And then there's also childcare. If you're using part of your child support to pay for
but I'm so
childcare,
tired of hearing about the child care
it
thing,
is.
man. Go ahead.
Have you ever paid for childcare before?
Nope, and I never will. But go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, it's expensive. It's like sometimes it's like more than a mortgage. It's ridiculous. And that's just like, say you have a child that's like, I don't know, younger than school age, or then you have like a kid that if you're going to work full time, school age kids get out before work ends. You got to pay for that. Okay. It's expensive.
So let me ask a question. Child support is for the parent that has what, the majority of their kid, or who makes, if I make less, I get child support?
No, it's for physical custody.
So it's for physical custody, but I do know that I'm saying it depends on the state, because where I live, they calculate it by time, but also by income. So even if you were to have 50, well, I can't really say about 50-50. I'm not sure how that works. But if you have the child the most, and you make significantly less, that actually does get factored in. But if you make the same amount, it's going to be lower, because even if you have them the most, because your income is closer. So it just depends on what state you're in. They kind of vary. So I can only speak on.
To answer our Nicole Moore's question, she says, Disco, why no childcare? Because I'm tired of hearing about childcare, man. The childcare is for kids maybe age 0 to what? Maybe 10 or 11? Okay, 12. Everything after that, they're coming home. They in the house chilling, no outside playing until the mother get home or something, man. You ain't paying no childcare after that. Why?
Till the mother get home.
So first of all, that's not really right, because first of all, for the first 4 years, it's really expensive. Like, I don't mind.
It's $300 a week.
It's like, exactly. It's $300 a week. And that's on the low side. I'm just saying. It's $300 a week. Times that by 4. And you're crying about $500 in child support. But that child is going to daycare so that mom can work. So it doesn't compare.
Tight Cole says you don't have a clue, Disco, when it comes to childcare. You're absolutely right. I just said that. And I will never have a clue about it.
Yeah, you would
never have a clue about it.
Really, you would be.
I got too many damn cousins to be paying child care, man. I got too many cousins for that. It ain't going there. Snooki, you can vouch that.
Yeah, you got a lot of cousins there in that area. I agree with that, man. But look, what about the moms and dads that don't live around family?
What about that?
Exactly.
Like me, I don't live around family.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had to pay child care, I got to pay child care. I can't expect to put my burdens on my family to take care of my kids.
Okay.
Can I put it out there and say we don't do that?
Don't do what?
We don't have our relatives watch our kids.
And we don't either. So it can't be like, hey, mom, can you come pick up? Or hey, grandma. Like, it doesn't. It's us. So.
But you know what? That also goes to social status when you're at your social environment. You know. So if you live around family, you live around family. If you don't live around family, then you can't expect family to take care of your kids.
My family all lives within 10 miles. They're still not going to do it.
Just let me to re-clarify.
But that's not their burden to either.
It's not
exactly.
It's not their burden.
They're not obligated to take care of kids.
They are not. I happen to have a loving family.
Childcare has to be factored in all the time.
Okay. Well, I just happen to have a loving family, and
we do.
What you trying to say?
So.
You need to come visit.
My family loves it, but it's not close enough. I mean, I admit when I had our first kid, we were really lucky. We didn't have to pay for child care for the first child. That was easy. But hey, second time around. Whew.
So to clarify, to get back to the point that I trying to make last week and this week, the whole thing that brought all this is is the people that are using child support for their own benefits. It's for their own benefits. In my opinion, from what I've seen, there's a lot more of that than people that are using it for the right way.
No.
You know what I mean? Yes, they are buying their kids food and clothes and here, that. But the majority of the people I've seen, in my experience, they're buying unnecessary stuff, man. They're buying stuff.
How do you know
themselves.
that's not their money, though?
How do you know that's not this?
So when someone gets child support, it probably goes into the same bank account that all their other stuff goes into. Whoever, whether it's mom or dad, because I have girlfriends that pay child support, That money is going into an account. They are paying a portion of what the custodial parent pays. There shouldn't be any breakdown. That's the portion that you owe that it would cost to take care of your kid. And it's pretty simple. Like, I don't understand how people are so up in arms.
Hey, and let me ask this question: Why should you hear about people that's doing the right thing with child support? Why should you hear anything about them?
You don't ever hear anything positive about anything.
Right.
You're not going to hear about the people that's doing the right thing, and we shouldn't hear about because they're supposed to. The people that's not doing the right thing, of course, they're going to stand out because they're not doing the right thing, and that's obvious.
Okay.
But you have no proof that they're not all the time either. Like, just because someone
child support does not pay for everything that a child needs that month.
No.
So I think a man that's paying child support, first and foremost, the man should be a provider. A man that's paying child support and he's worrying about all the wrong things that she's doing with the money and the kids aren't being taken care of, then he has a problem. He's probably a little bit bitter. He's probably a little bit mad or upset, especially if the kids have everything that they need. Thank you.
So the kids have everything they need. It shouldn't matter who get the money. I mean, it shouldn't matter what she's doing with the money and none of that.
No, it shouldn't.
If I put my $5 in a pocket.
Yeah, it says my perception is of a limited exposure to folks who are receiving child support. There are 330 million people in this country. I would like to think I had a broad exposure to people in on child support. For one, from being my job. For two, being family, friends. You know, the culture where I grew up. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people with kids.
That's one little circle. That's very limited.
It's not part of it. It's not even my circle though. It's not. I wouldn't say it's limited. It's just. I mean, of course, I don't know every person on this earth. Absolutely not. But child support is being used as a tool, man. It's a tool. It's being used to threaten people, to make people do right. You know what I mean?
I agree.
You leave me, I'm going to put you on child support. I know
Agreed.
a lot of people that, you know.
But that's just smart.
Child support is also.
How the hell is that just smart? Are you kidding me?
Child support is also used for the man's benefit. I can make sure that I get my parental rights, and you can't say I'm not paying child support.
Child support and visitation are not supposed to go.
Rights. Who's guaranteed that? Okay, you paying your child and you gonna see your kid.
What I'm saying is
nobody.
Most women, they put men on child support so that they can either deny the dad from seeing the kid or let the dad see the kid. If you're not paying me child support, you can't see your kid. That is the most common phrase used.
That's crazy. But
the court don't go with that.
Why do you have to threaten me with child support to see my kid?
That's the only.
I feel like that's a different subject. But
let me take care of my kid. Let me do what I need to do. I'll give money that I deem is needed for the child for that time.
Yeah, but you just you were balking at $500.
Who?
Somebody was acting like $500 was so much money. So that means you wouldn't be willing to give that $500 a month. So that's one reason why people put the other parent on child support. If you're not willing to put out just, at least a portion, a good portion, a decent portion of what it takes, to take care of your kids, then, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Brandon says change subject. Y'all don't even know what you're talking about.
Where
it's
are
easy
you?
To hit the exit button.
How much what's the average amount in taking care of a child, Brandon? Because it's priceless. I mean, it's never enough of money. Right. When people say, "Oh, we don't have the money to have another kid," you wouldn't, or we wasn't ready to have a child. You will never be prepared to have to take care of a child when it comes to finance. Never, Brandon. Find me those statistics. You work for the Tea and Honey Show. You need to get with it.
And Jasmine made a comment earlier that is way back up there somewhere. I didn't get a chance to post it, but she said it's a man can strap up to avoid all that. How about
a woman can too?
I was just going to say it's a woman's duty to make a man strap up. Come on, man.
It takes two from the beginning to the end.
Stop that, man.
Yeah, but the problem is who gonna get left with the kid?
Hold on, Snooki. Outside of God damn, I hate using the word. Outside of forced sex, that woman can make that man put a condom on. That
So
woman
no
can
personal accountability. No
That
personal
She can
man-
choose to
accountability.
keep it.
That's it. No, what I'm saying is stop putting it all on the man. Why are you putting it all on the man? He should have used the condom. Come on, man.
Women get-
That's the most tiredest excuse, lame ass excuse I ever heard in my life. I'm sick of that excuse. So you have no accountability in that? So it's all 100% my job to make sure you don't get pregnant, right?
No,
Is that what you're telling
it's
me?
two people's job, but it's not her responsibility for him. It's her responsibility to do her part. So she could be on birth control and still get pregnant. That means nothing.
Don't fuck. Wear a condom.
But then she still
Wear
has
a condom.
rights for 12 more weeks.
Wear a condom, man.
Well,
Hey,
not
come on,
everybody
man.
believes
I
that.
thought we were
That's
talking
another
about child
subject,
support.
so.
Come on, man. Wear a condom, man. If
Hey,
you
are we
on birth
talk-
control, still make them wear a
So-
condom. Make me
Are we
veer
talking
off
about
to the
child
left, man.
support? We talking about
Yeah,
child
man.
support?
We talking about how we get to the point of child support.
Oh, okay.
That's not how
Different.
people get to the point of child support. Because there are people that are divorced
I'm
and
chilling.
end up like
I
that.
don't even know.
Okay, so
So can
no.
we all agree that can we all agree or to disagree that the child support system needs to be reformed?
Yes, it does.
Okay,
It does.
we all
It
agree.
definitely does.
Hey, Disco, you agree
What? I'm mad right
that
now.
the
I'm sorry.
child support needs to be reformed? Can we all just because this we will not be doing a part
Yeah.
3.
We're gonna be
No,
on
we
part
ain't-
We
17.
will not be doing a part 3 of child support and who takes care of the child. We will not be doing that.
Yeah,
So,
we ain't
Disco,
doing that,
do
man.
you agree that the
I
child
already said that,
support
Brandon.
needs to be reformed?
Yes, absolutely, it does.
Okay.
It
Coach,
100% needs to
do
be
you
reformed.
agree? Coach,
He over there.
I'm on
Where your
mute.
mic at? Oh,
I
there,
was
go
doing
ahead.
a refill. Sorry.
do you agree?
I
that-
agree it needs to be reformed, but I will say this: it, like I said last time, if it does what it's intended to do, great. But if someone wants to use it as a weapon, it's the perfect weapon. So the reform comes in on the latter part of it. That's just the way I feel.
Mhm.
Phone comes in on the latter part of it. Okay. We're gonna
Can
let
I
our
comment on
guest-
that?
If we're gonna let our guest has the last word. Go ahead, Sissy.
So, what Derek just said, that it comes in on the latter part of it. It's also a change of how you feel about it and how you think about it. And like Lonnie's saying, to him, he found a positive spin and a positive aspect. And I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying it doesn't take a long time, and I'm not saying it's not draining and it doesn't piss you off and it's not a daily disaster. I'm not saying any of that. But what I'm saying is if you learn to work the system for yourself and for your child, if you don't agree with the way that it is, you have that ability to do that. And people need to take more responsibility and take more time out and keep track of things when it comes to their kids and keep track of bruises and bumps and old clothes, ripped clothes, whatever. They're hungry. They're always being dropped off without having anything to eat. You got to keep track of that stuff. You need to keep track of it as a parent. Nobody in the state needs to keep track of what I'm spending my money on. If he doesn't like how she looks, he needs to keep track of that.
All right.
And you can make the system work in your favor.
We gone. Bye, Sissy. We got
Bye.
to go. Lonnie,
Yes, sir.
time for us to go, brother.
I know, bro.
We
Hey,
gonna
it was
catch
good
you on
seeing
the
you,
next
sir.
Lonnie,
Hey, you
Hey,
too,
hey.
man. I appreciate you. I appreciate your comments. You're
Thank
very
you.
intelligent.
Thanks for letting me enjoy.
Gentlemen. But child support, man, she gonna get the card, man. She got to get the card, bro. Put that joint on the card so I can see what the money going to. It's as simple as that.
All right.
All right. Hey y'all, that's our show for the day, man. I appreciate you. I'm over this topic. I'm done with it.
you better not bring it
Please
back.
be done with it.
I'm done with it, bro. I ain't bringing this one back up.
No.
We're
As
gonna
y'all know,
move
I
on.
normally got a lot of stuff to say, but I'm just like,
I'm with
Hey.
you. This
It's
dead.
a 10 Handy show. Hey, look, the comments can still work, y'all. The comments still gonna go on long after we're off. What y'all want to talk about tomorrow? Let me know. Or Monday, whenever the hell we coming back. What y'all want to talk
Monday,
about?
please.
Monday? Okay. We're gonna talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. We're gonna bring it up. Make it good. Put it up there now so we can do some research and get it going.
Brandon, keep your eyes open, brother.
Thank you, Lex. Thank you,
All
Coach
right,
Dirk.
guys.
Appreciate all of y'all, man. One hell of a show tonight, man.
Have a good night, guys.
And we out of here.
Boogie, you hear me out there, right?